This is also your spine line right here. It just has other different markings on the line that shows the condition of your spine. And a lot of people have asked us, well, what does the spine line got to do with the hand, and why would anybody really care? Well, I'll tell you, years ago when Kat was getting her master's degree in health education, and she was studying palmistry also, hand analysis, she had come across a book by a Dr. Eugene Scheiman. It's an old medical doctor from back in the day, back in the 40s to 60s. And he had written several books about palmistry. One of his most famous ones is Medical Palmistry. And he talks about in the book how you can actually see the condition of your spine in your hand. And she had done a lot of research over the years about that. And we find these markings to actually be very accurate. When she has done charts, we've sent them along with people to go see their doctor or chiropractor or whoever they see about that spinal condition. And they were amazed at how accurate these charts are. So how this works is along this headline, we're looking for little anomalies, little islands or little triangles. Now this could be a lot of different conditions. They could just be turned out of place or a little bit of misalignment, or it could be things like scoliosis, just a lot of different things, or maybe an accident, some damage or something like that in the spine. Let's see in your information. Oh, you didn't say if you had any damage to that spine or not. And to tell you the truth, these lines are very subtle in your hand, so we imagine that you're just maybe turned out of place a little bit in that spine. And how that works is underneath this Jupiter finger, kind of right here between that and that Saturn finger, this is your cervical spine, that neck area. Then as we move over between these two fingers and between your ring finger and your pinky finger, we come down, that's your thoracic spine there. Let's move this image up a little bit. And then as you get over here, this is your lumbar area, down in that hip region. And then of course the sacrum and coccyx, that little tailbone down in this area. So we're looking for little triangles like this. And that shows that you might have some issues with those little vertebrae or discs. And let's do this. Let's pull up this chart. And the reason why we kind of spend a little bit of time on this is because if you don't have that energy flowing down through that spine correctly, if you have like a pinched nerve or an interruption in that, you just don't feel well. Something's kind of off. And a lot of times you can have these out of place and you don't feel any pain or you just don't feel well. You don't feel like you're 100% all the time. That can cause a little bit of brain fog or make it hard to concentrate sometimes. So what we've seen in your hand is in this cervical area, in that neck area, that 4C down to the 7C. Let me pull that image up and show you what we're talking about. Let's see, the right hand, and this is in the right hand only. So as we come down between these two fingers, that's your neck area. Coming around here, that's 1C, 2C, and then we get down to 7C right here. So we can see some little islanding there. And let me pull up that spine image again. You can see that right here. At 4C down to the 7C. It looks like you've got some little issues right there, about the middle of the neck down. And then as you get down here towards what's called the Dowagers Hump, that's that little hump you see in people, a lot of the older people's necks when they're like in their 90s and they're all bent over at the neck. That's that Dowagers Hump. That's when your thoracic spine starts. And it looks like you've got some little markings there, that 1T down to the 7T. Let's pull that right hand image up again. That's it, comes down into this area. You can see some little triangles here, a little bit of anomalies. And like I say, these could just be turned out of place, just a little bit misaligned. And that goes all the way down, kind of the small of your back. And then as you get down here into your hip region, that's that 11T and 12T. That's the bottom part of that thoracic spine. And then you get down here into that lumbar region. That's in that hip area. It looks like you've got a couple of little anomalies there. Then it doesn't look too bad down there into that sacrum and coccyx. Then if you want to go over to the areas column, this shows you the parts of the body that are affected when you've got different things going on in that spine, and that energy is not quite going down there at the 100% efficiency. So like a 7C, that'd be thyroid and different things. And then if we move over to the right, you can see the effects column. That'll show you what kind of symptoms you can have. And if you remember when we were talking about that heart line, let's pull up the, whoops, not that image. We want the right hand image. We talked about some little stressor triangles in the hand there on that heart line. That's right here. That shows generally that 2T area is out of place, or you've got an issue with that vertebrae or disc underneath there. And that can cause a little bit of chronic fatigue, a little bit of anxiety. It means that heart's working just a little bit harder than it needs to. Putting a little bit of pressure on there. So you can look up and down this chart, and anything that you have that you can think of, that's how that's affected by some of those vertebrae or discs having some issues with them. Probably just kind of turned out of place. So I'll tell you what we usually suggest is to get into a good chiropractor, or better yet, a good physical therapist. See if they can't get that realigned, get that energy flowing down through that spine correctly. And you're just going to find that when you do get that done, you're just going to have so much more energy and so much more ambition during the day to get things done.